Who was a complete Walter Mitty, lovely girl. Yeah. In my dim and distant past, I once loved an American girl. I didn't realize she was living in a fantasy world. She was telling tall tales of her life out in Africa. And there wasn't a single grain of truth in a word she said. Well, it certainly isn't me who's waving, I'm drowning in a sea of lies the size of old New York. And if all the soulless seats I walk, wishing the buildings could talk to me, and the tales they'll tell of such cruelty, stories so seldom heard, but they won't tell me the truth about my all-American girl, my all-American girl. Sailing on a ship of fools in New York Harbor Bay, the Statue of Liberty is screaming, please go away. The sons of illegal immigrants are building all these walls. The only Mexican wave we'll see is when we're far offshore. Well, it certainly isn't me who's waving, I'm drowning in a sea of lies the size of old New York. As our huddled bodies hit the streets, outlined in white lines of chalk, and the sirens sing on the interchange, the stars and stripes unfurls, but they won't tell me the history of my all-American girl, my all-American girl. Well, I finally got to say goodbye to my American girl. Such an incredible metaphor for the old USA, yeah, yeah. And she's telling tall tales of her life out in Africa. She's the only one who believes every single word. Well, it certainly isn't me who's waving, I'm drowning in a sea of lies the size of old New York. And I'm mesmerized by neon lights where all the street women still walk, as they sell their souls for slogans and prisons made out of small words. But they won't tell me the history of my all-American girl, my all-American girl. Or was she just a fantasy of mine? Thank you. I got through it. Woo! First time I've ever sung that one, so I do appreciate it.